Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today I will be welcoming back my good friend, Stephanie Hodge. You may remember her, the great stand-up comedian from the 80s. I interviewed her a year ago on this podcast, and I'm having her back on again. And she's really funny and hilarious. She hasn't done stand-up in probably about 10 years, but she's absolutely hysterical, and I can't wait to have her back on. It's going to be pretty fucking sweet because she's hilarious. And haven't seen her much on social media this year. I want to find out what she's been up to and what's been going on. I know she's been acting, so we will find that out. So, here is my new interview with Stephanie Hodge. Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good.
Well, good. Well, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Steph. Been a crazy year, I'll tell you. It's been one of the darkest I've had in a while, but it's ending on a good note.
Oh, good. I'm glad. You know, it's been a pretty rough year for everybody I know.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't get it. I don't get it. And everybody I know that's had a rough year deserves a good year. And everybody who's had these really great years really need to be slapped. So, that's how I feel.
They all need to be slapped, yeah, right across the ass.
Exactly. And perhaps across the head with my shoe. I'm not sure yet.
Mm-hmm.
So what's up, dude?
Oh, nothing much. Just got all 8 Friday the 13th movies finally from Amazon. I got them in my mailbox today.
They arrived. I thought you were waiting for those. Well, that's a marathon worth doing, huh?
Oh, hell yeah. They got special features and everything.
Oh, man, that's great. See, if it were me, I'd just shut up, lock the door, pull down the drapes, and leave a sign on the door that says, "Don't bother me." I'm enmeshed. I'm enmeshed in my happy place. Yay.
Yeah, it's kind of like the equivalent of wedding night, do not disturb.
Exactly. Except you're less likely to fall asleep after the first move. So there you go.
Right. Oh my God. So, like, you disappeared from Facebook for a while. What happened to you?
Oh, man. Talk about a bad year. My mother passed away 2 years and 8 months ago.
Oh.
And I was, I'm the one who was flying back and forth from California to Ohio to take care of her and her business. And I have a sibling who only showed up to get money, you know. And I mean, we're both over 60, so girlfriend, seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Time to grow up, little monkey. But, yeah. So, Mom left a very, very specific will. And 2 years and 8 months later, I'm still waiting for it to be closed. And my sibling has done every dirty trick in the book you can think of. And her quote was, "I'm going to get more from the estate. I'm going to get more stuff, more money. I'm going to ruin your life. I'm going to get you. And then I'm going to kill you." Literally what she said to me. Literally.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, go ahead, take everything in the house. Take all the antiques, good. Because my mother was an antique collector and dealer for years.
Mm-hmm.
And take it. Just take it. All her jewelry, I only want these 3 things. Take the rest. Now will you sign the papers? No.
Wow.
So it's been literally 2 years and 8 months of just horrible things. Horrible. She texts me and pretends to be her son. And I'm like, if you knew your son, you'd know that he doesn't use commas and semicolons.
Wow.
There were police at my mother's memorial because so many people called them in my hometown and said that my sister had threatened to kill me.
Oh.
I needed police there. So guys in just regular clothes and police driving up and down in front of the church. Thank you, Jesus. And, she sat there all alone on one pew, and the rest of the church was still on my side.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God, that reminds me.
It's really funny, because when the house came up for sale, we owned it just 50. And I was getting phone calls, letters, texts, emails from everybody in my hometown. Please don't sell the house to her. Swear to me you won't sell the house to her. Nobody wants her here, because it's a really small town in southern Ohio. And you know everybody knows everybody's business. There's no secrets.
Yeah.
There's just not. And it's the sweetest place. And when those people come to get me and start telling you, please don't let it start. I'm like going, yeah, don't worry, I'm not selling her the house. I'm not doing it. Don't worry. So, yeah, it's oh my God, the only sibling I have is in absolute betrayal mode. Awesome. Great. That's fun.
Well, I can be your little brother, Steph.
Huh?
I can be your little brother, Steph.
Oh, thank you. I need one.
Oh.
Stop. Now I got a cat crawling up my chest. Who's holding my arm?
The cat wants some milk.
Can you hear that? Can you hear that horrible noise?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm plotting revenge on the neighbors. I am serious. From dawn till dusk, every day during what's supposed to be our holiday breaks.
Yeah.
That same noise. Constant. Because they're redoing their lawn.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, really? From dawn till dusk, you're redoing your lawn? I walked across the street and just stood in front of their house and stared at it last night for like 20 minutes.
That reminds me of a comedy bit.
Does it?
Yeah, this comedy bit that Steve Byrne does where he talks about his neighbors giving each other oral sex, and it sounds like they're making macaroni and cheese. It was so damn funny, and it's clean. It's not dirty, but it's just suggestive, It's so hilarious.
Oh, that is funny. Okay, now the cat's fighting me. What's he done? Have you cursed my cat?
I think I have, sorry.
It's so weird. He doesn't bite. Where is biting me? Oh, okay. I think he's just old. Cats get old. He's old.
Yep.
He can't see that well, and sometimes he looks at me and just goes, oh, look, it's a big hammer.
Yeah. But wow, oh my God, that situation you're in with your sister, though, it reminds me kind of like, all right, I had this uncle. He wasn't really my uncle. He was my uncle's best friend who was like an uncle to me. And me and my dad and my stepmom, we had to live with him back in 2007 for a while. And he died. He left the bar. He left the bar in broad daylight and jumped in front of a train and got killed. And
oh my God!
Yeah, his girlfriend was a psycho. She provoked him, and it was never proven, unfortunately. And now she's with his best friend. But what happened was, after that, next thing you know, his daughter and his brother, who he hadn't seen in years, came and they wanted the house and they wanted his money, and they got it.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. And
it's so hard, it's just the greed. It's just pure, simple, unqualified greed.
Yeah, they told us we had to get out in 3 weeks, and we did.
Holy oh, man, no, that's just dirt evil.
Yeah. Yeah.
You believe in karma?
Yes, indeed.
I do too. That's the only thing that keeps me going sometimes. It's horrible when things like that happen. There's just no humanity. Everything is just about gimme, gimme, gimme.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave her, and I'm still sitting here. 2 years, 8 months later, I signed all the papers. I signed the final papers.
Well, be careful. Be careful. The cat.
3,000.
Well, be careful because the cat might go meow mix, meow mix.
Well, I think the issue is, and it's the family members still, and they're great. I'm so lucky to have a good family. Usually I do.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't care what anybody does for a living or anything. They're not impressed. If you're a good person, they're impressed. So very down to earth people, very good people. None of them will speak to her or have anything to do with her because of what she's done. So, she has no moods.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, nobody in our hometown wants her. So it's one of those things where you just kind of go, well, yeah, you got more stuff, and you got the jewelry, and you got some more money. And you're still sitting there, all by yourself. Nothing to do, nobody to talk to. And all you can do is, there's no limit to how long it can take. I'm like, well, everything's done except your signature, so.
Right.
If we go to the court, I have a feeling you're not going to win. But my lawyer did tell me that if I still lose, she'd lose everything she got. And more. Because she's broken so many. She's broken laws. She's literally broken federal laws.
Mm-hmm.
To get me. And here I said, I'm fine. I'm just annoyed. And I just thought, there's got to be. It's hard that somebody who's just obsessive like that. Oh, God. What was the one with Kevin Spacey and the guy that was his assistant at, I think it was supposed to be William Morris. And he ties him up in the chair and, paper cuts him. And does stuff like that.
7?
No.
The Usual Suspects?
No. Oh, my gosh. I'm going to have to figure this out.
I know. I can't get into his movies anymore knowing what he is.
I can't either. That's what's awful. This movie was a great movie. And the concept is so great. It's like the guy you kick in the teeth every single day finally said enough. So it's that kind of movie. And it's really fun and it's funny and it really does. And I was telling my daughter, we should watch this. And then the stuff with him came out. And we're both, I'm like, you don't need to see that movie. There's plenty of other movies. It's just unconscionable to me. It doesn't surprise me at all that this is finally coming out. I'm just sad that it's taken so long.
Yeah.
All this harassment and nasty stuff. It's just, it's there. It's all over the place. It happens all the time.
Yeah. I'm just getting nauseated over the fact that, there's so many hypocrites in Hollywood bringing attention to it now when they knew certain things, like Oprah knew about Harvey Weinstein and then she delivers that speech at the Golden Globes,
Yeah, exactly. See, that's what gets me. If I know something and it's not right, I'm going to say something, which is probably... I've been told in my face, Stephanie, if you just shut up, you'd be so much further along. And then I look at them and go, yeah, I have to wake up every morning and look at myself in the face.
Yeah.
I have a child. I have a daughter. What am I supposed to teach her? Oh, be a lying, conniving, deceitful woman. That's good. No. So, I've always said something. Always said something. When anything's been untoward.
Yeah.
When people argue with you, they argue with you. Oh, it doesn't matter. Kind of, yeah, it does. Kind of, yeah, it does. When I was shooting Comedy's Dirtiest Dozen, it was that stand-up special.
Oh, love that.
Yeah. Well, one of the other comics is not dead, so I'm not naming names, and it doesn't matter because he's dead.
I know who it
How
is.
many comics from that show are dead? It's amazing. Slammed me up against the wall and shoved his hand down my pants.
Oh.
And another one of the comics came up and grabbed him by the back of the head and slammed his hand against the wall and said, don't do that. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I tell the producers, you know what they said? Oh, those are comics. Boys will be boys. I'm like, I'm a comic. I don't stick my hand in other people's beds. You don't care. Nope, they don't care. Didn't care. Did not care. And it's one of those things where you do. I walked up to this guy and said, "Don't you come near me. You come near me again, I swear to Christ, I will cut your dick off and shove it up your ass."
Yeah. Fucking, I'll tell you, I'm dealing with a lot of shit in the Bay Area. I mean, even though I'm not living there anymore, I'm going through a lot of shit right now ever since the Me Too movement happened. Some people have jumped on the bandwagon and have talked shit about me and said that I'm a fucking creep. Yeah, said that I'm a predator and a creep. And wow, it's a coincidence. It happened right after I started a podcast and I started doing fucking good, talking to all my idols and shit. Wow, it could be fucking jealousy. That's what I think.
You know what? I agree with you. A lot of it is. A lot of it is misplaced anger and jealousy and revenge for things that have nothing to do with anything sexual.
Exactly.
Let's put it this way. There's a comic who's fairly wealthy, really famous, and really doing well. Back in the day, in the 80s, I worked with this person frequently.
Mm-hmm.
We were good friends, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Good friends, like brother, sister. He used to walk up and slap me on the ass and say, "Still no growth there," because I have like no ass at all. And never bothered me. Never bothered me. I turn around and slap him on the ass and go, "Because that's where it is." And it was a thing. It was a joke. It was not sexual harassment.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been told by several people, "I saw that when you were clicking checks, you should turn him in." And I go, "Why? Why?" It meant nothing. It was not everything is harassment. Not everything is a sexual move.
Right.
And especially around comics. You have to be one of the guys. When I started, you had to be one of the guys or you didn't be at all.
Right. It's still like that, too.
They've tolerated a lot of stuff that nobody's tolerating or putting up with anymore. And the truth is, it didn't damage me. It didn't hurt me. There were 2 instances where I was literally assaulted. Guys in male comics. 2. And out of all those other years, they're just goofing around. Nobody meant any harm and you knew it.
Yep.
Doesn't mean, so guys slap my butt. Fine. I don't care. It's my butt. Let me decide what to do with it. I know what's right and I know what's wrong. And that was just goofing with like your brother. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And even if geez, to think of them any other ways, it's just go. Should we go with But it is being used inappropriately, and I will say it. I've already gotten in trouble for saying it, but it's not all honest. It's not all real. Some of it is intended to harm.
Yes.
Which is just as bad as the harassment, because it's destructive.
Yeah. There was 3 female comics I had on the podcast this summer who I thought were my friends, and they turned against me the week of Thanksgiving this year, and I'll tell you what happened. Or I think, at least I know what happened, right? There was this one out of those 3. I met her just before I moved. She had just started doing comedy. She's basically a jaded housewife, looking for something to do to get away from her boring domestic life, so she's doing stand-up. And she's really, really funny. But she's got a lot that she's hiding. She's got a lot of demons and shit that she's hiding, and she doesn't want anybody getting close to her, because I don't think she wants this as a career. She's just doing it to get away from her husband. Well, I had her on the podcast, and I brought up something I said to her the first time we met that she laughed really hard at the time, but she told me later when I brought it up on the podcast, she was uncomfortable by it, and she felt like she was being sexually harassed, which was not the case at all. I told her when I first met her that I don't know. We were talking. I was telling her about my sex life, and I said that I like double penetration, and she giggled like a schoolgirl, right? And when I brought that up again on the podcast, she just took it out of context, but didn't say anything about it until later. And so she turned the other 2 girls that were on like that same week against me, and they all unfriended me on Facebook, and I'm hearing all these rumors and all this bullshit, and I am just fucking steaming over it.
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. See, that's what's happening.
Yeah.
You get to a point where this stuff that should have been stopped a long time ago should never have been tolerated.
Mm-hmm.
A long freaking time ago. It's finally being exposed, but it's being exposed with violence.
Yeah.
There's so much violent reaction to it, and it's emotional violence and verbal violence. Some of it is physical violence. And it's just one of those things where you have to look at who you're talking to and what you're... I'm really angry about this because I've been sexually assaulted.
Right.
And I know what it means. And I also know what it means when you're talking to a friend.
Mm-hmm.
You're just talking topics.
Right.
I also know what it means when somebody's just kidding around and slaps you on the butt. Like your big brother would.
Yeah.
Or your mom would. And it's gone haywire.
I
There
don't...
are real people who have done real things, then that attention needs to be paid. The real victims.
I don't do
Genuine victims.
I don't do the butt slap thing unless I know them very, very well. I've avoided that for years. If they do it to me first, then it's okay. But I'm not going to I'm not going to aim for that. I'm not going to, set out to do that.
Right. It's just it's just amazing to me. I mean, I've had all kinds of things said to me that nobody should have said. And I'm not going to stand there and giggle and go, I'm afraid of losing my job. I'm the one who stood there and said, don't talk to me like that.
Yeah.
What's the matter with you? I mean, I'm here for an audition. Let's do the audition. Let's just have anything to do with the audition. Steer clear of that, okay? And I never, okay, this is important. I auditioned for someone alone in the room with them one time. And my agent at the time found out and said, you never, ever, ever do that. I don't care who it is. You don't do that. And if it's a situation where you find yourself in that, suddenly develop diarrhea and run out of the room and say, I'm so sorry, I'll be right back. Call me. I'll come over.
Mm-hmm.
So there were plenty of times, there's an audition for this, you have to think way back in my younger years, and everything was like pointing up. And, there's an audition here. He wants to meet you in his hotel room at the Beverly Hills Hotel. Great, my manager and I will be there. But great, my agent and I will be there. Well, he wants to see you alone. I'm sorry, I don't do that. Fine.
Yeah.
Fine. You have to take care of yourself. And I'm not blaming any of these women for what happened to them. Because I had an agent who explained it to me. A guy. A man. Who's been around long enough to see everything and know everything. And he just said to me, look, you don't do this. Here's the certain things you don't do. And there were several times it was like, well, if I can't meet her alone, then I don't want to see her for the project. Okay. And you know what happens when you say no to somebody?
Mm-hmm.
They want you more.
Yeah.
So I have experienced backlash a couple of times from things. So fine. I can live with me. And I feel horrible for women who were genuinely sexually abused, assaulted, insulted. Oh God. So many things have been said to me that normally I would, in regular life, I would slap you across the face. But because it's a bunch of comics, before a special, everybody's nervous, everybody's tense, everybody gets their crap out one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're the only woman in the room and somebody makes a crap about your leg, you're just nervous. You know them. I don't work with people I don't know. I never did.
Right.
I was always safe. And you just have to make yourself safe, and you have to say no, and you have to be willing to lose jobs. But you have to have the right backing. Your managers and your agents, your people have to be there for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that false allegations should carry the same weight as proven allegations.
Yeah, because this whole Me Too thing is being carried out without due process. You know, everybody's guilty and there's no innocent.
Yeah. And, you know, the thing that gets me the most, it's so frustrating about this, is there are so many guys that have had this experience, and they're barely speaking up.
Yeah.
They've been sexually harassed. They've been assaulted. They're not really speaking of it. And the women who are genuinely victims are being watered down. Their stories are being watered down and pushed to the side and trivialized by those that are bringing up things that just come on, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's nothing to complain about. Or if you want to complain about it, fine. But if they do it at the moment, don't wait an hour or 10 years later and say, oh, you're really uncomfortable and you said that. If you were really uncomfortable, you would have said something.
Yep.
Right?
Exactly.
Oh, I would have. But just have friends that tell me, Stephanie, you say whatever's on your mind, and you don't have a chip. So it's like, not everybody's like you.
Yeah. And that's another thing, too. The key word in this situation, in every situation, is subjectivity. Everything is subjective. You know?
Yep.
I mean, yeah, if someone is offended by this joke, there doesn't mean that person over there isn't. You know? And
Exactly.
people who get up on a soapbox and try to change the world, they don't look at subjectivity. They're just looking for their own self-interest for what they want. You know?
Yep. And what better way to shoot somebody down right now in this industry that you're, for whatever reason, whatever invalid reason, than to bring up something like that, to make an accusation. And it's just so insulting to the true victim. See, that's what gets me. I am not, suddenly, yeah, the accused becomes a victim because it's a lie.
Mm-hmm.
And the true victims of assault are just, you know, we don't care about you. I just want to get some attention, kind of thing. And it's wrong. It's just all wrong. So I'm glad it's happening. I'm glad all this stuff is coming out. But it's been around forever.
Yeah.
So let's not jump on a bandwagon here just to hurt other people. Let's be genuine and let's be honest and let's help the victims and let's help the people that are doing this crap that they ought not to be doing. And people like Kevin Spacey, I'm sorry, go away.
Yeah.
I can't. Just go the hell away. Great actor, wasted phenomenal talent. Too bad he made that choice.
Yeah.
Bye. I guess. Just seriously, it's that easy. We can do it in the Senate in 24 hours. What's the problem?
Yeah, and that's another sad thing too, is that oh shit, I lost my train of thought.
I do that to people, I'm sorry.
No. I just had it like a moment ago and then I lost it, but I'll probably get it back again. But yeah, I mean, it's just getting to be fucking insane, and I wonder if, you know, if Trump gets impeached, if this will continue.
You know what? Oh my God! Sorry about my voice. It's so, you know, it's so feminine in life. Anyway, the winds here are so bad. It sounds like just walking through the house. So I'm like, you know, I'm a man today. And I'm gonna go grab my husband by the ass and see if he punches me. That was uncomfortable.
No, you sound the same. I mean, it doesn't. You don't sound different.
Thank you. The whole thing with Trump, I'm flabbergasted. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
When he was elected, I've never been more shocked in my life. And the first thing I thought of was how Hitler got to power.
Yeah.
Nobody took him seriously. He can't possibly win. You know, nobody's going to pay attention to this guy. Well, he smoked. And then the next thing you know, the smoke is rising. And people are dying. And it's one of those things where I thought that, and then I thought, you know what? Be a better person. And I was sitting there thinking, please let him be right. Don't let him be what I think he's going to be. Let me be wrong. I wanted to be wrong so badly. I have never wanted to be more wrong in my life.
Yeah.
However, it's one of those things where I'm just sitting here watching this debacle unfold, and we have a narcissist in office. Narcissist in office. Sociopath. I don't know. I'm not a professional, but I've dealt with narcissists.
Yes. He's definitely one of those.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what you do. If they say you did it, they can do something. This is the thing this is like Trump. He can say, I will be very proud to shut down the border over this issue. I'll own it. It'll be my receipt. It'll be on me. Now who's it on? The Democrats. And most of the people who are suffering right now financially because he did this, he says are Democrats. There's no way he could possibly know that. There's absolutely no way. He's making crap up. He's saying, the Democrats are making me do this because they won't give me what I want. So they're hurting themselves and their own people. That's what a crazy child of Doritos. And how anybody can back a guy, grab him by the pussy, having affairs, and paying him off. You know, it's like, come on. If you didn't own it, he can't own anything. He cannot own a single thing. And now they're on, I was watching the news all morning. Now we're on the verge of a weapons war, nuclear weapons war. Why? Because he thinks people he's a bigot, that's why.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's a bigot. That's the end of it. He doesn't see anybody equal to him. All he cares about is him and his pocket.
Yeah, he wants to make America racist again.
Yeah, and he has. He fully has. People I have known all my life that I love have posted things on Facebook that have made me go, who the hell are you?
Yeah.
What's this crap about? Send them all back. They don't belong here. I'm sorry. Aren't you third-generation American? Yeah, I think I remember that in school. Yeah, you gave a report on that. Yeah. And your family German? Oh, you should go. You should leave. And it's just stupid. He has instigated racism, sexism, xenophobia, ageism, anything you can think of that's bad, and he's feeding those fires, and there's no room for any of those fires. He's crazy. He's a crazy person.
Yes, he is.
And I will tell you this. I'm a Quaker, and I try very hard not to be a violent person, although thoughts of homicide do cross my mind on occasion. What made everybody, oh man, if I could just rip your head off, split down the trunk of your neck, I would feel so happy. But you don't do it, you think you don't do it. Maybe other people don't think that. I think that a lot. I had this weird fantasy of snapping people's heads off. I don't know if that's from probably, Texas Chainsaw.
Oh, I need to write you a role in one of my horror scripts.
You know what? My bucket list is to do one horror movie a year. I've only done one.
Mm-hmm.
But I love movies. It's so much fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about anything. Everyone's gonna die. It's just how and when. That's the only problem. And when you get to die in a horror movie, it's the most fun thing ever.
Yeah.
It really is.
I mean,
yeah, I'm a horror movie.
The makeup is a pain in the ass, but it's a lot of fun.
It is. It is. That is true. The makeup, all the blood in the open room. I love that. I do. I love that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
the
do
sounds.
too.
I love the sounds in horror movies. That's the stuff that really gets me. Is the sound.
Yeah, one thing I've learned from interviewing a lot of horror movie actors, especially the ones from the 70s who were in really landmark horror movies in the 70s, is that, oh my God, so many of them are so damn bitter because these filmmakers, they didn't know anything about the business side of Hollywood, and so they make a movie and just incidentally becomes a huge hit and no one got paid.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah. I can name a couple of the movies, too.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Night of the Living Dead, they didn't get paid. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, they didn't get paid. I'm sure there's some others in there.
And there was no reaching out to the performers to say, oh, we did really well, here's what you deserve. Of course not.
No, because the distributors didn't have anyone sign a contract. Now, I think, okay, I know that Tobe Hooper, when he did Chainsaw Massacre, he got residuals, but no one else did.
Oh.
And Night of the Living Dead fell into the public domain, so nobody got paid on that movie.
That's like the biggest one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't that the most watched biggest one?
Yeah, because that's the one that, shows up on every late night horror show because it's in the public domain. They don't have to pay for it.
Oh, that's sad. That's so sad.
Yeah, they would have made some pretty good bank on that.
I own 4 copies. Don't ask me why. Just in case one of them gets ruined,
Oh my God, I've met and interviewed a couple people from the movie. They're awesome.
It's a great movie. It's just a great movie. Now, if you put Trump in place of Leatherface, you pretty much got the story.
Oh, I could make this joke right now, but I'm not going to because it's racist.
Okay. Barry Sanders in there as Grandpa, because, just sitting there.
Grandpa.
Yeah. Oh, man. I'm telling you. It's crazy. It's all crazy. What are we going to do? I can't believe anybody came after you.
Yeah. Oh, it's been going on for years, trust me, but it just in the last year or so, it's just been fucking nuts.
Oh my God.
Because I'm an acquired taste. I'm not for everybody, and I say what's on my mind, and people get pissed off about it. I'm telling the truth.
Yeah, but the truth is only what a person can stand to hear. Most people can't stand to hear the truth.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to hear the truth. That's why I like the truth from others. Way much rather, oh, God, that whole stroking the actor thing and, oh, we got it, and don't worry, because we get a glass of water for this ad. I'm like, oh, my God, everybody line up against the wall. I got some shoe slapping to do here.
Shoe slapping.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Everybody here does a job to do these damn things. Stop messing with other people's lives. Why do people want to hurt each other? I just don't get it. I really just don't get it.
It's you know what? The internet started it the worst. I
think so.
Because once the internet started, everyone had a voice. Everyone just, doesn't think first, before saying anything. And they just think that, what's on their mind in the moment is more important than anything.
Yeah. God, we're up children. We took our whole society to the 6-year-old. She found the key to the cupboard. Oh, my God.
And none of these people have the balls to say that to the person's face in public.
No. Of course not. I just don't get it. What has happened to us? There's not, first of all, we know that Trump is losing racism and all that other bad stuff. He raised that. He threw that back out there. And people who are just angry and frustrated with their lives accept it. They accept whatever he says. If they're angry and they're frustrated and things aren't going the way they need them to go or want them to go. So rather than looking at the truth, you have to have somebody to blame. And it's going to be somebody who's a different race or different religion every time. Or gay. Oh, God forbid. God forbid. That's so funny to me. It's like that whole thing about the LGBTQ community and God and sinfulness. And it's like, oh, seriously. Have nothing to do with your life. Don't you want to be?
Yeah.
Leave everybody alone. But honestly, Trump is just, oh, he's a nightmare. He's a freaking nightmare. And I, honest to God, tried so hard to give him an opportunity to prove me dead wrong.
Yeah.
Because at least when you're wrong, you get to learn something, you know?
Yeah.
But no, I wasn't wrong. We were wrong. A bunch of us weren't wrong.
I wasn't surprised that he won because, you know, when somebody is that corrupt and powerful, they're going to find a way to rig it and get in.
Yeah. And finding out about all the Russian stuff on Facebook. Oh, my God. My God. This would make a great book, you know, and it'd make a great movie if it weren't true.
Yeah. I mean, oh my God. I mean, that whole grab the pussy thing, that should have just fucking been a sign.
Yeah. Yes, there was a sign in this crap about. Well, he didn't know his mic was on. Oh, so it's okay if he's the most horrible man living on the planet and we don't hear about it. That's okay. That thinking confuses me. Keep it hidden and it's okay. That's pretty much what's wrong with the world.
I know.
And people I love have said to me, they shouldn't have aired that. Nobody should know that. That was a private conversation. And I just look at them and go, if there's somebody puts a mic on you, any idiot knows it's a microphone. And unless they tell you it's off, it's on. Okay? So that has nothing to do with the fact that he said it, but he practices it, he thinks it's funny, and he said it. If Obama had said something like that, I would have liked to have known, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I can't imagine him saying anything.
Yeah, he probably would have said something in Ebonics form.
You know how to really piss off die-hard right-wing Tea Party people when they start talking about Obama and say, he was black, and you go, no, he's half black. He's half you. And then they won't talk to you anymore.
God, I remember when I was in my 20s, I dated a lot of women who, if you didn't grab their pussy while you're making out with them, they thought that you didn't like them. Oh
my God, that's so sad.
They were aggressive. My generation of women is so aggressive. And that's why I started dating.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I started dating women in your age group, the cougars.
I think I'm what comes after cougar.
Because there was no pressure. There was no pressure with them. They had already been married, and I didn't have to worry about whether or not they were going to put out.
Yeah.
So it was great dating older women, I'll tell you.
Plus, we don't giggle. Not that there's anything wrong with giggling, but, I mean, really, when was the last time you saw a woman over 55 giggle and mean it?
I don't think
sarcasm when we do it. Oh, these cats. Do you want a cat? I've got two. You can have them. No, I can't. You go away.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it.
It's all crazy. It's all crazy. The truth is, if somebody wanted to, you could be blamed for sexual harassment.
Mm-hmm.
Years ago, on one of the shows I was on regularly, there was a guy that wore those little tiny short shorts.
Yeah.
All the time. All the time. And really, really tight t-shirts. And you know, everybody in that cast called him Cabana Boy. In the middle of winter. And granted, LA has real winter, but still you should put on long pants.
Mm-hmm.
If it's 40 degrees, you should wear long pants. He still wore that same thing. And we were all like, oh my God. We're freezing. And he's in, like, short 70s short shorts. Somebody get that boy a blanket. But it was, you know, nobody meant anything by that. He was really young, and it was his first job. And he went surfing every morning before work.
Yeah. Yeah, people are
So,
fucking crazy now.
yeah.
Really, really sad.
And it's like people who said to me about my voice, oh, you've got such a sexy voice, I can barely stand it. It's like, is that a good thing or in a bad way? Because I've heard both. And I've had women tell me, oh, that's sexual harassment. I was like, really? Because they like my voice. It's harassment. Because they said it was sexy and whiskey. That's harassment. I think that's a description. I don't think that's harassment. I think that's just a description.
Wow.
And see, I'm scared every time I say something like that it's gone too far. That it's just gone too far. I'm scared somebody's going to get mad at me. And somebody is going to get mad at me. But the thing is, it comes down to the true victims.
Mm-hmm.
Don't diminish the pain of the true victims by being trite. Trying to get some attention. I swear to God, I think a lot of this just got attention. I really do. Women just looking for attention.
It's all about power, you know. It's about mind control.
It is. And the victims, oh my God. Look, I know what that feels like. I know what it's like to spend years in therapy trying to convince yourself it's okay to turn the lights off when you go to sleep. I know that. So when you sit in my seat and you see this other stuff that is trying to trivialize, and I feel uncomfortable with what you said, well then say so. Stand up. Say so. Discuss it. Work it out. Maybe you misunderstood, Missy. Maybe you just misunderstood. Or maybe you led somebody into a place where they thought they could tell you something confidential or private or make a joke that they couldn't. Maybe you just lured them into that place to make a comment so you could complain. I've seen that too.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad. It's sad, but for all the real victims, man, it's sad to see.
And sadly,
Weinstein. Oh my God, I can't. Ah, jeez.
And sadly, the real victims won't speak up.
Yeah, because of all the trivialization around him, they won't be believed. It's so messed up. It's the Russians. Everything's the Russians.
I don't know how that started again, because they haven't been on the U.S. radar since the 80s with the Cold War.
I know, it's bizarre. It's just bizarre. It's so weird. And there's just so many, what's interesting is I've discovered a lot of people, news people that I didn't know existed, that I really like.
Mm-hmm.
Wolf Blitzer. I love Wolf Blitzer.
Mm-hmm.
He's so excited. I'd love to have him lunch with him and ask him that one question that set him off. I don't know what it would be. It'd be hilarious, and I'd learn so much. I would learn a great deal.
Yeah.
And Rachel Maddow. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like her. It's fun. I just, I don't know. It's such an odd time. Oh, I feel bad for kids. I feel bad for the 20-year-olds.
Ugh, kids. Oh my God. I feel bad for them in this day and age, with things coming so easy to them, with the internet, and what's really sad is they don't give a fuck about history. They don't. I mean, they have all this access to history. They don't do anything with it.
No, they don't. My daughter, 21, she's in her last year at Cal Arts, studying to be a photographer. But at Cal Arts, you don't just become a photographer. You have to take all those other classes too. Method, business, and design, and all that stuff. And she's making references in her work that her professors love, because her whole thing is to look at society and what we have decided is important, and how ridiculous and satirical we are simply as beings. We're a walking satire. And she has the best sense of humor. And oh my God, she's such a good actress. Ooh, I thought she doesn't want to do that, though. So, she is. She's a great actress. She's really, her writing blows me away. And she's very, very funny. And her art is just this marvelous, marvelous, marvelous stuff. And she will come home and say, you know, I gave my presentation, and I got questions from kids older than me, you know, in the advanced program or in the master's program, asking me things like, what's the movie Flamingo? What? I know John Waters did hair, but he did other stuff. And she said, it's like you just want to grab them and bang their brains against the wall and go, where have you been?
Oh, I used to be like that. That's how I learned, you know, because I was a kid back before the internet existed.
Oh.
You know, I had books. That's all I had. I had books, and I had like A&E biographies. That's how I learned about people and entertainment.
Yeah. Days and days at the library, man.
Mm-hmm.
Sit there and read. Read. And it's just so funny. I'm so proud of my daughter because she cares. She cares very much about history and society, and it all shows up in her art. And she does really, really well. So it's kind of like, how can the people that you're doing this with not have references to artists and other photographers, famous photographers? And it just seems to me like there's, not all of them, most, you know, not the majority of them, but she said there's like 5 or 6 kids that she's just stunned they're even there. But when it gets right down to their produced work is great. It's just phenomenal that they can get there without a comprehension of what they're really doing.
Mm-hmm.
She's been doing exhibits about what we consider valuable and how stupid it is, how ridiculous and how dumb it is. And she made a whole line of clothes with things like, in the design, like gold leaf and martinis. But at a distance, you look at it and it looks like a beautiful Art Deco design. And you get closer and go, okay. And then there's the one that looks like sprinkles. It just looks like a real pretty little girly pink sprinkles. But when you get closer, it's pills.
Yeah, it's like one of those 3-dimensional pictures, like Pogs.
Mm-hmm. But it's so fun because it's like people are looking at them, and what she did was she set up the boutique in the studio and put ridiculous prices on this stuff, and gave it a designer name, and people were coming. I was in there. I'm in there, standing in the corner, kind of watching. People came in to look at her exhibit, and there's kids going, "Oh my God, I love it! I so want this T-shirt." $25, but you know, it's less than Gucci. I'm going, excuse me. Let's come out of my corner. Are there some slappers? Serious slappers? What's going on? Hey, Nancy, that's a joke, sweetie. You're being satirized and you're participating, and it's really sad. So, yeah, nice shoes. But it's true. I mean, college is a really expensive school. Really expensive. She got help. Scholarships, and she won contests and for photography and stuff, and it's been printed in magazines. So, and she has a store on Etsy, so she's earning her way. We're not dependent next to her.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you know, I always feel like it's a parent's responsibility to give their kid a college education, pay for it as much as you can. But see, we decided to do that, and she came to us and said, that's not fair. This is a really expensive school, and it is not fair for you to pay for all of that. I said, no, I can't let you do that. Which made me like her a lot more, you know?
Yeah.
And looking at your kids like, oh, thank God. I didn't realize it was a test, but apparently it was a test at the time, and she passed. But she goes to school with kids who have no concept. They don't show up to class, they have to repeat a year.
Mm-hmm.
And they're wardrobes and pay $15,000 a year so they can have a room on campus.
Yeah, that's what it's funny. I'm not a guy who takes advice and I don't give advice, but if I have any advice for anybody who like wants to go into acting, I tell them, you know, don't go to a 4-year college because for one thing, if you don't have it, you'd be paying the same amount of money going to an acting workshop for a year. I say, take acting workshops and, just constantly, study and watch that way. Don't waste your money on a 4-year college. And plus, the teachers in the 4-year colleges, they want you to fail.
Yeah. It's funny because I always tell people who want to be actors, how do you feel about college? What came with college? Because that makes a difference. If you go to an art school, it's a whole hell of a lot different than a normal 4-year college. You're going to focus on your craft. You're going to actually learn things. As a college, you established famous people who come there and willingly say, let me teach you what I've learned. And it's great. But, I also tell some people you should go to college and, have a fallback thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because, sometimes you just, no, honey, you seriously going to need a fallback. Just say it.
I wouldn't come up with a fallback. What I would do is if you have to make money, do something where you can make good enough money, but focus on what you really want to do.
Yes, exactly. No, you're absolutely right. And that's the thing. You're going to have to do other stuff until you're enmeshed. And even when you're enmeshed, there's good days and bad days and good years and bad years. So you have to have something, another skill that's, purchasable, I guess you'd say.
Well, I mean...
I don't, but that's okay.
Well, things came to me singularly because, when I started doing comedy in 2006, I had no friends, no mentors. Everybody treated me like shit. Still do, of course, but even back then, I had nobody. And this was, just before the podcast world started. I didn't know the business side, and nobody told me anything. And, then I got sucked into, the bar scene and becoming an alcoholic, which led to my car accident. And then, I discovered the podcast world during my recovery and just made me realize that, okay, I can do this now. I still don't have friends or mentors, but fuck it. I got podcasts to help me learn the business side. And that's what I've done. And I started my own.
See, that's better. That's so much better. It's better to do it on your own. It's weird because I never got that much help. I really never did. So in the beginning, when I first started doing stand-up, I actually got help and encouragement. But from the strangest people, like Wild Bill Bauer. And do you remember Wild Bill?
Bill Kirkenbauer.
No, this is another Bill Bauer who's in Minneapolis.
No, I don't know.
And he served in Vietnam, and he was an addict, and he got clean, and just the kindest man, just so kind to me and so helpful. Jeff Cesario was helpful. It was the first time I saw it. Jeff Cesario?
Who?
Sorry. Jeff Cesario?
I know the name. I know the name, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the first time I saw him, he was wearing black leathers, like pants and a jacket and everything. And I burst out laughing, and apparently I was supposed to laugh. But he was helpful. I mean, they were, but this is back in Minneapolis, and I'm doing 5 minutes in an AFL-CIO union bar, and I'm the only female in the room. So it was sort of like, I guess their brotherly instincts kicked in or something. But they were nice. But then, I moved out here, and it's no. And even now, if I wanted to do stand-up, I don't know that I could get any time. I haven't done it in a long time. Because I've been kind of taking care of people who are dying, and dying people, and dead people, and lawsuits. There's nothing funny in the middle of this stuff. And then all of a sudden one day, I just kind of woke up and I looked at it and I went, this is really kind of funny. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, you could say that on stage. I think you would get a laugh.
But it's just any stand-up isn't the same place it used to be. It's not. I do not get a sense of a welcoming committee of peers anywhere.
Really? I mean, you mean no other of your contemporaries could give you a welcoming committee that's really warm?
Oh, personally, yeah. But it's just one of those things. The last time anybody called me about stand-up, I get this call and says, okay, now you can do 7 minutes, and I'll pay you $50 if you get 4 people to pay full price tickets and buy 3 drinks each. And I said to this person, you're going to give me $50 and you know damn well I own a club. I know exactly what you're doing, and I know exactly how much you're getting paid and how much you're ripping the comics off for.
Yep.
And I know it's your responsibility to advertise your little show so that you get people in there to pay full price and buy drinks. That is not my responsibility.
Yep.
No, absolutely not. You shouldn't be doing this to anybody. How'd you get in? Somebody make you pay? Somebody make you bring in friends? No.
Yep.
So it's just not like it was. It's all grubbery, People just grubbing for money and attention. And where's the comedy? Where's the art? Where's the differentiation between comics?
Yeah, and I don't know if
comics be different.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've noticed this. My generation is not very confrontational, so none of my fellow open micers want to start the next comedy strike, but I would, because I fucking hate what's going on, the way open micers are being treated. I hate just how low-level entertainers are being treated in general. Like when I go to a convention, like a horror convention or a Comic-Con, and I'm a podcaster, I don't get any damn respect, even though because I don't have a huge following and what have you. And I don't like that shit, and I want to say something about it,
But see, that's biting their own nose off to spite their face. That's ridiculous. Having been a club owner, having booked and been booked for some fucking years, it's one of those things where you just don't. You show compassion, and at least to every human being, well, not every human being, because there's a couple that don't deserve compassion, but you be professional about it, you be nice, you be welcoming, you encourage differences. What does everybody want? Some kind of bland, mamby-pamby comedy that's so cute about how when you drop the baby start to when they're your first child, you boil it before, and by the time you have your second one, you just stick it in your mouth, suck it off, and put it in the baby's house. I do that fucking joke one more time, I'm going to kill somebody. I swear.
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop the same damn cutesy jokes and talk about what's going on. Talk about how you feel. Talk about the fact that life pretty much sucks for everybody right now. And let's find some common denominator that's fun in that. Everything's so mamby-pamby. And then there's a couple of comics that think they're so edgy. And I'm sitting there watching them going, rape is not funny. Want to talk about it? Because I can tell you all about it. And it's not funny.
I missed
My pitch through your esophagus might be kind of hilarious. I have to leave the room now because I'm hating you so much. Somebody said I actually turned pink and then white while I was watching this female perform. And said, honestly, they said they'd never seen me look like that before. This person's known me my entire life. But I've never seen you look like you were literally going to explode.
What, she made your toes curl?
Oh, God. Joke. Creep. Joke.
Yeah.
Nobody's laughing. Good end. And I mean, after all, we should only speak about things that we know of.
Mm-hmm.
So, shut up. It's just so demeaning. It was demeaning to her. I'm watching this going, you're just throwing everybody under the bus, including yourself. You're not edgy. You're disturbing and disgusting.
Yeah.
Disturbing is good. Disgusting, not so good. When you have to be paid for a living, you know that. not. I just tell the truth. If the truth is nasty, that's not my fault. You know what I'm saying? You do know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. That's why.
I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I honestly think there needs to be some kind of. There has to be a change in this. Somebody has to stand up and just say no more. Open mics, you come in, you sign up, you do your time. None of this crap. None of this crap. Everybody gets to do what they do. Don't tell me what words I can and cannot say.
Oh, yes.
I'll let the audience do that. And there was one point in my career, in my stand-up career, that I proved myself. When I was on Nurses, we were at Disney World in Orlando.
Yeah.
And they had an adult nightclub. And somebody from Disney said they wanted me to do stand-up at their nightclub, but it was the family show. But they wanted me to do my stand-up. And I said, okay. And I did it. And I did not say one single foul word the entire time. Got a nice standing ovation at the end, even did jungle fucking. I just changed the words. And it was great. And they had guys standing around the stage where if I messed up, they were just going to come up and walk me off. I guess I wasn't that well trusted. But after that, I earned Disney's trust. And everybody was shocked that I could do it. I can do it. I can be clean and sweet and cute too. But life isn't clean or sweet. So I would rather tell the truth.
Yeah. I'm a old school one-liner kind of a guy. I just feel like I'm not qualified to have a point of view at this juncture in my life on stage. I just want to make everyone laugh, you know?
Yeah. But see, that's the thing. What's the funniest stuff? What's really funny? Things that are true are really funny.
Right.
And there are so many bizarre truths out there. So many strange, bizarre truths out there. And if you can do one-liners, God bless you, because that's beyond my comprehension.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do them. They're too hard.
They're pretty difficult.
They are.
It took, it was about 5 years in between Stephen Wright's 2 HBO specials. It took him like 5 years to write a whole new hour of one-liners.
Oh, yeah. And he's just, oh, God, he's the king of one-liners. He's amazing.
Oh, God.
Really just, oh, my God.
Yeah, I mean, just one after another. I mean, I don't know how he remembers all of them.
I don't either. See, that's the thing. It's like, everybody in this house loves him. And sometimes we'll just look at each other and say one of his lines, and it's like, you know how many lines he has? Like billions. It seems there's got to be literally, there's got to be several million things that he's said or written.
Oh, there's like a number written on the internet of how many one-liners he said on his first HBO special. I think it was about 250.
See, that's amazing to me. That's a whole different craft. That is just, it's the difference between me baking cookies and somebody making torts. I can make a good cookie, but keep me out of the torch kitchen. I'm telling you, don't go there. I really respect one-liners. I really do. It's good. It's hard. It's just something hard to do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a pretty good joke writer, and I always have been. That was one of the great compliments I got when I first started doing stand-up. I had very good construction, set-up, punchline, and I had great stage presence. I just needed more confidence on stage, and it took me a long time to get that.
Yeah, that was hard to come by. I used to throw up before we stand-up gig up until about, let me see, when was it? I think up until about 1989, 1990.
Mm-hmm.
I could not perform. I was so anxious every single time I would get sick. And my backstage demands were like white bread and milk.
Did you ever get high or drunk before a performance?
Once. I did once.
I saw this one performance you did on YouTube. I can't remember what it was, but you looked like you were pretty fucked up.
Depends on what it was. The only time I did was at a bowling alley.
No, it was not a bowling alley.
Okay. Now, then I probably had the flu or a migraine or something.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
There have been a couple of times, because people would send shots up to me.
Yeah.
And I would give the bartender a hefty amount of money, a hefty tip. And tell him anytime anybody orders me a shot, make it iced tea, okay, or water, or soda, if it's supposed to be bubbly. But I said, make it look good, but do not send me shots. So I would stand up on stage, and one night I'm doing shots with the audience. And there's about 12 shots lined up there. And I'm going, oh, yay, 12 shots of tea. You guys are clever.
Yeah.
Well, the bartender didn't go along with the joke. Half of them were actual Jack Daniels, and I was going, oh, my God. Oh, my God, oh, my God, oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
I took my shoes off and sat on the floor. I think I gave half my, I think I did part of my act laying down, too. I just laid on the stage and take your shoes off, man. Oh, God. Okay, let's talk. And it was a great show, because everybody thought I was kidding, but I wasn't. I had too much to drink. That stinking bartender, he thought that was hilarious.
Wait, you took your shoes off on stage?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, took my shoes off, sat on the floor, laid down.
I used to get up on stage at Rooster Tea Feathers in Sunnyvale, and they'd give you like a free drink before you went on, and I was, oh my God, I would just destroy after having one drink. I mean, I would do that, and then, after I came back from my accident and I started going up there and I couldn't drink anymore, it took me a while to get into that mode sober,
Yeah.
And then
that's the thing. It is just, I'm so proud of you. I have no right to be proud of you, but there's one human to another, and I'm so proud of you.
How come you have no right?
Because I have no influence in your life. We're not related, and I didn't go through hard stuff with you. So I'm just proud of you as a human being for everything you've been through, and everything you've come out of, and everywhere you're going, and where you are. It's fucking amazing.
Oh, thank you. And I mean, you do have a right in terms of, you're just somebody that I've always loved, performing, and I just feel so flattered and just so honored.
Jeez. Okay, you made me blush, and nobody's done that in about 4 years, so. It's just amazing to me. I don't know, and that's another thing that people don't get is the extent to which there's, especially in the 80s. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, the amount of drugs were floating around. I couldn't even believe it. Okay, first of all, I'm allergic to the coca plant and to cocaine and to chocolate and to coconut and to several other kinds of nuts. Right?
Yeah.
I didn't get to be a cokehead. I just didn't get to. It just gave me diarrhea and made me throw up. So I broke out knives. That was really fun. We were so mad. I used to say in my head, it's just like eating a bad piece of meat to me. You get all bleary-eyed, break out in a sweat, you vomit, and have diarrhea. Woo-hoo, good time.
Oh, I've interviewed a lot of comics from that time who did a lot of cocaine at the Comedy Store and just told me just how fucking insane that time was.
Oh, it was insane. It was insane. I was paid in cocaine at a club several times, and I'm standing there going, I don't care what it's worth. I can't do anything with it. Okay, I'm not selling it. Okay, do you understand? I'm not selling this. I've got some cash.
Yeah. Steve, Steve Pearl told me, oh my God, when he used to do coke with Kinnison, Kinnison would get so fucking crazy on coke, he would start making outrageous claims and take credit for things he didn't do. And one night, I love this story. One night, Mark Maron asked Pearl if he wanted to go up to Crest Hill and get high with Sam, and Steve said, I don't want to hear another story about how Sam invented paper and the printing press and gravity.
I would pay to hear that.
Yeah.
You know, I met Sam Kinnison up in Montreal at the Just for Laughs Festival one year.
Yeah.
I think I went with 2-3 times. I don't remember how many times I went. In the bar, and I'm wholly uncomfortable. I have anxiety disorder, which is I haven't really ever talked about, but I do. I have a serious anxiety. So of course I go into the one business that's going to feed that, like crazy. It was actually suggested to me as a way to get over my anxiety. So yeah, I need to slap that guy too. But that anxiety, and it was way worse back then. But I was just for laughs, and I'm at the bar in this hotel, and I'm sitting down there waiting for somebody to come meet me, and we were going to take a walk and go see the other comics. And because we weren't working that night. And Sam Kinnison comes upstairs and gets off the elevator, and he walks over to me and puts his hand on my shoulder. Hi, I'm Sam. I've wanted to meet you. I think you're funny. And I was like, you know that moment where you go, I want to look, but I don't want to look?
Yeah.
Because I loved him. I loved his comedy so much. And his state of being was so absurd and wonderful,
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I used to sneak in back doors through kitchens to hear him work because I couldn't afford to pay the cover. And I'm serious. That's like kind of weird. But I just looked at him and thought, man, if I could be the female Sam Kinnison, I'd have it right. But, there's aspects of that I'm glad I didn't. And, that was a dumb thing to say. But I really just respected him so much. And there he is at the bar with his hand on my shoulder telling me I'm funny. So I almost died.
Oh.
And he said, hey, why don't you come over to the table? We'll have a drink and talk. And I was like scared. I was scared. But I looked at the bartender, and the bartender nodded at me. And I went. Hey, he was the sweetest guy on the planet.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, and he said, you don't have to be afraid of me. I'm not really like that. And he was amazing. He taught me a lot of stuff. He told me a lot of things I didn't understand about stand-up at that time. You know what I mean? He really explained a lot to me. And about the business. And he said, I just want you to know, you seem kind of trusting, and that's my stomach.
Yeah, I interviewed his brother Bill a couple of months ago, and he was telling me all this great stuff about him and stuff. His stories don't match other comic stories about him because they know the really, really dark side of Sam. Bill knows, of course, about the drugs and the alcohol and what have you, but like the comics have told me about all the dark shit behind it all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what scared me. I honestly was terrified. I wanted so badly to talk to him, and I was terrified.
Yeah.
But he was just a really nice man who wanted to make sure I knew some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what he even said to me? He said, when you're here, don't even leave your jacket anywhere. People steal shit. And sure enough, 2 nights later, when I was on stage at one of the smaller stages, I had taken my sweater off and laid it down in the green room, and when I came back, it was gone. I was on stage for 7 minutes. A sweater. The only people back there were comics. I'm like, which day you stole my fucking sweater?
Oh, my
I know
God.
it's just a sweater, but it's my sweater. What you doing there?
Oh, my God.
Later, I saw some British guy wearing it, and I went, oh, Jesus, seriously?
Oh, my God. Several months before my car accident, the last job I had, or the next to last job, I should say, I was working security at AT&T Park in San Francisco, and I had this bag full of a change of clothes, and one of my security lights and stuff, and it got stolen. It got stolen in the parking lot at late at night because it was a night game. I was fucking pissed, and I thanked God though that I was wearing my security jacket, because if I hadn't, I would have had to pay like $50 for a new one.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What's going on? Honestly, tell me what's going on. Why are people so mean to each other? Why are we out? Everybody's so bent on hurting everybody else. What the hell is going on?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
It's something in the chemicals of the brain.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. It's so hard. Here's my question. I actually wanted to ask you this question because I think you could have a good philosophy on it.
Okay.
Now, all these people that I grew up with, that I do genuinely love, I love them. I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Through everything that I've done and everywhere that I've been and all the good stuff and all the bad stuff, these people are just my friends. And they don't care what I do or what I don't do or if I succeed or if I fail. They don't. They're just friends.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all that matters. We have different religious beliefs, spiritual beliefs, all kinds of different beliefs. Never had a problem agreeing to disagree. Several of them are so Tea Party and so behind that, all illegal immigrants must be removed from our country. All immigrants must be removed. And I'm looking at them going, you can't honestly believe that every immigrant that comes over here is carrying Lyme diseases and an Uzi. You cannot possibly believe that.
Yeah. I mean, where are they going to put it?
Yeah. And it's just like there's a little tiny boy on the TV. Are you looking at that little tiny boy who is weeping as he's being separated from his parents? You think that's okay because they're from Mexico? Okay, I don't need it. Now my problem is I'm learning this. I'm learning this because Trump is in office. Several of these people that have put in these beliefs of theirs or these prejudices and bigotries of theirs, they're open about it. And it's like, how can my daughter even said to me, how can you remain friends with them? How can you still love them, knowing at their heart they're a bigot?
Mm-hmm.
But I do. What's wrong with me? I'm serious. I still love these people. They're great people. They do so many good things.
So you're asking...
They're positive and they're fun. And then they got this dark little thing in them that I'm going, oh my God. If I were to meet you now, I wouldn't talk to you.
You're asking me if I think you're a racist?
Well, no. Well, I know I'm not, but a little bit. We all are because we're white people and we can't help it. You know what I mean? It's ingrained in us. We have white privilege, so just by being white, I think that we're all racist.
Yeah, I think that all men have at least 1% of misogyny in them.
Yeah. And we're talking, as far as the gender thing is concerned, we are talking millions of years.
Yeah.
Of imposed tradition, and it is imposed.
Mm-hmm.
All imposed. We're just taking whatever they tell us, and we're going, okay, that's true, without any thought.
Yep.
And I think maybe that's what's going on politically with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Small town, you believe what your parents believed and your grandparents believed, and that's that.
Mm-hmm. I think what I think the answer to your question is, though, I think that I don't think there's anything wrong with you. I think that you love them unconditionally because I guess you figure as long as I'm seeing them not treating minorities badly, then there's nothing to worry about because I love these people. I have a history with them.
See, that's the thing. I've never seen any of them do anything that wasn't just good human behavior. Not once. And I'm shocked that they are saying the things they're saying the way they're saying that. It's like, oh, you just want anybody to come into this country. And I'm like, no. No, just because I think the wall is a stupid waste of time and money doesn't mean that we should just open the borders to anybody, anytime, with no background checks. You know, no, it doesn't mean that. We need to do what like other countries do. But that doesn't, no. And it's an extreme process of thinking. There's no middle ground for things. And that confuses me, because I pretty much live in confusion.
We all have.
I live in the gray area. I'm in an airport in Cincinnati,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm getting ready to board to come home. And there's a line to the ladies' room, and this very tall, very beautiful woman walks up. And the woman in front of me turns around, grabs my arm. I don't know her. She grabs my arm like something terrible happened.
Yeah.
She says, "That was a man." And I looked her square in the eye and said, "No, that was a woman." And she goes, "No. Too tall, had an Adam's apple, and the hands were big. It's a man." And I looked and said, "No, that was a woman." And she said, "How did you know?" And I said, "Well, she's got a nice pair of knockers, and she just came out of the ladies' room. That's kind of a giveaway." And this woman looked at me and went, "Oh my God, I'm doing it, aren't I?" I said, "Yeah, kind of, yeah." And she hugged me and said, "Thank you." And I went, "Well, thank you." And I'm thinking, this woman just totally freaked out over a transgender person.
Yeah.
He may or may not have been transgender. I really couldn't, I don't know. I don't know. This woman did have big hands. I have big hands. And I have never had a penis. On my own. Anyway.
You have had a penis, but not in that kind of capacity.
Right. Nothing I've had to move around so I can sit comfortable. Well, that's not true either. But, but that was one of those weird moments in life where I just went, why did she notice that? Why does she care? What is her problem?
Yeah.
Why was she so panicked? All I saw was an amazingly beautiful woman walk out of the bathroom. And when you're standing in line, what do? You watch the people walking out. And that's what we were all doing. And she just hot panicked. And I honestly was like, what is... I wanted to grab her and shake her and go, let it go. Just let it go. That moment where Cher slaps that, what's it say? What's in it? Moon something.
Oh, Moonstruck.
Yeah, Moonstruck. Snap out of it.
Yeah, like that.
But she realized right then and there when I was talking to her, she realized she didn't know if that person was transgender or not, and if that person were, she was being horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought, how fortunate for me that this is the person I got.
Yeah.
Landed in front of me that was put. I think everything happens for a reason. I really do. And I think that woman was right there in front of me for a reason. And if she had not been that open and that thoughtful, I might have gotten slugged. And my daughter's standing behind me, and she just, after we had a conversation, I turn around and look at her and she goes, "Good job, Mom. Did you have to say knockers?" I said, "You're right, honey." She goes, "That's kind of demeaning." I went, "Okay, I'm sorry. I won't say knockers again." Rack? Is rack okay?
Oh my God! When I'm around transgenders, I treat them exactly like women, like they should be treated. I take them by the hand and I kiss it, and I just treat them like a woman.
Well, exactly. Can you imagine living your whole life in the wrong gender? Can you imagine what that must feel like?
Well, because you know what? I've always felt like I was a woman trapped in a man's body because I get along with women so much better than men.
See, yeah. Well, I think that, I don't know. You have more of my friends are men than I have women friends.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And I have a lot of women friends. But my men friends are like, it's a different tone, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's a different tone. And I'll do, that's the thing too. Men and women are different. We are. We are biologically, genetically, on a nuclear level, different.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's fine. That's a good thing. And there are certain things that we should get equal pay for equal work. We should be considered equally for the same things when our capacity is equal. I think that's all very, very true. But still, in every single woman, there is a different thing than there is in every single man, because we are women and you all are men. And I just, equality, I think, is honestly, I'm just rambling now like a drunken person. But all of that is coffee and a protein bar, because it's Christmas. And I ate everything in that neighborhood 2 days ago. That's bad when you go knocking on a neighbor's door. I ate a whole turkey. Do you have any potatoes?
Oh my God, I had turkey breast on Christmas Eve.
Oh, Christmas Eve is my birthday, so we always eat what I want. My husband made me his fabulous ranch burgers.
Wow.
He makes these hamburgers that literally you just want to die. You just bite it and go, that's it, I can die now. It's a long time. And he made those for me when I first made. I was really sweet.
You can die if you eat too many of them.
That's true. That is true.
Wow.
I don't know. I think equality is the basic key to the solution to all of our problems. I think if we genuinely looked at each other on a more equal level, and not as immigrants or, different men, women, Mexicans, Canadians, when you start dividing everybody up into the most minuscule categories, there's too many walls to leap. I think we have to start looking at each other more as equals, just as human beings. Be nice. Everybody should be nice.
Yeah.
Be polite. If you can't be nice, at least be polite. And if somebody needs a good chewing out, chew them out.
Exactly.
Be selective. Be selective.
Be selective and be subjective, like everyone is supposed to be.
Yeah, it's true.
One
of my friends, he's a big Trumpian, and I got in a discussion about something.
Mm-hmm.
And about halfway through, I went, oh, crap. And she said, what? And I went, you're right, and I'm wrong. And there was the longest moment of silence you've ever heard.
I wanted to ask you something that I haven't talked to anybody with on the podcast, but I think that you're the perfect person to talk to it about, is the whole Roseanne controversy.
Oh, my God. That's the saddest thing. I don't... Okay, here's my stand on the Roseanne controversy.
Mm-hmm.
I think Roseanne has had and has offered and given a unique and individualized perspective on the world through her comedy that nobody else is capable or has been capable of doing. I think she's an amazingly creative person. And I think that the punishment is greater than she comprehended. You know what I mean? It was taking absolutely every single thing away from her.
Mm-hmm.
And if she honestly didn't know that woman was a black woman, why is she making any comments at all?
Yeah.
If you're going to make a negative comment about somebody, know what they look like, where they're from. You know what I'm saying? You need to get a little more background on people before you start slamming. And I don't like that whole online crap. If you're going to put something online, I don't care what venue you use, it better be factual. We need factual things. And Roseanne believed in a lot of things that were not factual. Like the whole Hillary Clinton running some child prostitution ring out of pizza parlors or something. Yeah. And I think that is a pretty clear... When you look at Roseanne over the years, okay? Just look at Roseanne over the years. And I met Roseanne, and we've talked several times, and I liked Roseanne.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard the opposite coming from her in person I never heard a word of bigotry in any way, shape, or form come out of her mouth. Not as a joke, not in any way, shape, or form. The opposite. It was the opposite. And for this to happen, it was shocking. I couldn't believe it, because that's not the person that I recognized saying it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And now we're not friends. We never hung out and had dinner, but in a professional way, we crossed each other's paths quite a few times, and she stood up for me a couple of times, which was completely unasked for and made a difference in my life. So I'm grateful for that. But this is not the Roseanne that I knew. This isn't the person I thought I knew or that I had encountered. And I think that these extreme beliefs are symptomatic of a greater problem. And I think that greater problem needs to be addressed, and that she needs to get clear. And I don't think that she got the punishment that she deserved. I think it was too harsh.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. Now, I don't know who she is now. I don't know what's happened to her, but she's not the same person. She's just not.
Mm-hmm.
Person that I worked with, that I saw, that I heard about from everybody, could be problematic at work. Yeah, because it's her name, it's her stuff, it's everything that's her is on the line every single moment that show is on the air. And since in reruns, you're on the line. It's the Roseanne show. So it's her entire being is up for critique at all times. And for a non-actor to enter into that venue with so much, promised so much power, you know, and then it's not really what you get. You know, you don't get that kind of power.
Mm-hmm.
Or we're going to do a show about you. We're going to name it about you. It's going to be based on your stand-up. Well, then I get final say on what? No, you don't. So that hurts, and that's hard to deal with. So if she was problematic on the show, that is just simply understandable from a stand-up comic who has the world at her feet and then goes into this television series, and suddenly she's everywhere, and she's everything to everybody, and that is a lot of pressure and a lot of fear and anxiety and stress and a lot of glorification you don't know what to do with. And she's a non-actor who goes into acting in the biggest way possible. You take that all into consideration, absolutely. It's completely understandable that she could be difficult at work. Absolutely. But this is a different animal. I think this is a sign of some kind of some mental illness. And she just sounds depressed to me, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I think it was going too hard on her.
Yeah. I mean, I listened to Whitney Cummings was on a podcast recently, and she said on it that she had quit the show as producer the week before the controversy happened because she was tired of seeing Roseanne be bossy and fight with the other executives at ABC and all that stuff. And she said had she even known about that interview she did a few years ago where Roseanne said that, I don't know if she was joking or not, she said that Oprah told the aliens to kidnap her or something. And she said had she had seen that interview, she would have never even signed on to be producer because it was just, she just thought that, she's not the same Roseanne now that she was years ago. And, she regretted taking on the role as producer on the show.
Yeah. See, that's the thing, Liz. People go through so many changes, and if you look at everything that Roseanne has gone through that's been said about her and been made public between the end of the show and the beginning of this one, that's a hellish life. That is a hellish life. And, it would take a really good support, being surrounded by good, supportive, down-to-earth people who didn't yes ma'am you or give a rat's ass what you do for a living or how much money you have to keep a person grounded. Otherwise, it's all questions. It's all questions. And there's everybody, every one of us, and I know you do too, every one of us are waiting for them to find out the truth about us, which is we are completely talentless.
Mm-hmm.
Just big idiots. And that's what drives us, and that's what can ruin us. Because it's not true. It is absolutely not true. We are funny, and we're not idiots. But we're in a highly competitive industry, in a highly competitive field.
Right.
Where changes are happening that are not beneficial to the craft and not beneficial to those who are involved in the craft. And when you go from the way it was in those days to the way it is now, that alone is traumatizing. If you're depressed or doubting yourself or in question. So I just think she really, honestly, I think she seems, see, I hate saying this stuff because I'm not a clinician, but she just seems, everything that happened seems so depressive to me, like she's just so depressed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, depression's all over the place, everyone's depressed, even I am, and this sounds like I'm joking, but I'm not. I told a friend of my mom's that I've been masturbating a lot, and she said, that means you're bipolar.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No. Oh, my God, we're all bipolar. That's not fair.
Yeah.
That's not fair. It's amazing because I have a hole in my brain, too, which is fun.
Hole?
That's what causes, an actual hole in my right frontal cortex. It's filled in with brain fluid because it happened when I was an infant,
Mm-hmm.
but it changed the process of the chemistry in my brain and the way my brain functions. So I will think really, really fast, and my first choice would be somebody else's third and fourth choice.
Wow.
Yeah. And the neurologist told me that at 62, my brain functions like a 35-year-old, but my thought processing is kind of wacky. It's not wrong. It's just kind of a couple of steps different. So I have anxiety and I have depression with that. Mm-hmm. And believe me, I have my days. I've had my days, especially after I took so many years off to take care of my husband's father. He and I both did. We both quit everything because we had to take care of his father. And he was bedridden and needed dialysis and was an extraordinarily unpleasant human being. But when you take into consideration, too, that this is an elderly Jewish man who had been the matriarch, or not the matriarch, the patriarch of his family, and an important guy in the community, and suddenly he was wearing diapers.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to cut his food for him. Who's going to be pleasant during that? So I don't blame him for that at all. And being able to do that for 4 years was an honor, because it teaches you more than you thought you didn't know about what's important and what isn't. And it teaches you patience you never thought you had, more so than even a child. It was not a bad thing, but it just, getting back in, everything's so different. Everything's so weird, and there were moments. And I've been working.
Uh-huh.
I mean, guesting on a lot of stuff, and I just got past my day player to my guest star status again, so that's good. And that only took, a year? That's fast to get back in after literally being out for almost 10 years.
Wow.
So I'm really blessed. I mean, don't you think I don't know, but I am really blessed. It's amazing to me. And everybody's been so welcoming and so kind. And I'm getting to teach dramatic stuff. And I'm not pigeonholed anymore. And I'm working with people that have worked longer than I have and have more experience than I have. So I'm learning. You can never stop learning.
Yeah, no.
Especially as an actress, because being at Minds now, it's a whole different ball of wax than when you're 20, 30, 40, or 50. It's just a whole different, they approach everything differently. When you hit 60, it's a whole different thing. Mm-hmm. You have to prepare yourself for that and just take a deep breath back and say, okay, I'm a character actress now, and everything I thought about me before and that I promoted about me, that's gone. And yay, that's gone, because there's a whole new world here, and it's a great world. But in between that, days of crying, and just going, I'm never going to get back in, it's never going to work, I'm just going to forget it, I'm going to teach school. No, I'm too old to teach school. Okay, I don't know, I'll be a waitress, I don't care, we have to move, I can't do this. You know, just so God, I'll have the husband and child that I have. Because they just sat there and looked at me and said, you know, you're just freaking. You know that, right? You're just freaking out. And you're going to be fine. It's going to be fine. It's okay.
Wow.
And there's people, you need people there to put their arms around you and say, you're flipping out. You know, your depression, your anxiety, it's running you right now. So you need to take a deep breath and let me hold you and tell you redhead. And I don't think that Reagan has ever had that.
Wow.
I think she is. Genuinely, people who don't give a rat's ass what the fuck she does or how much money she has. Do you think there's been anybody consistently in her life that has just been, I've always had somebody. Always.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't, it makes a difference. It keeps you sane. Because there are times that I just, I wasn't going to be able to do anything. I was just going to go to bed. Period. I'm done. Going to bed. Check it out. I'm on strike. Life doesn't matter. Then you have somebody right there who's bringing you toasted coffee and going, no, Mom, you're just having a fit. You're having one of your moments. It's okay.
No, I'm
your husband who puts in a movie that you did and she goes, you know, this is you. Like it's you. It's good. Relax.
yeah.
It takes time. It takes time. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm glad you're working, and God, I hope I get a sitcom deal so you can play my dirty aunt.
I would love that movie, Lily, because are you kidding me? Oh my God, you look at that dude.
Yeah. Oh my God, I write scripts constantly, and I always go, oh, wouldn't it be great if so and so would be great in this part?
Oh yeah. You recast movies when you watch them?
Do I what?
You ever recast movies? When you watch them?
I wouldn't say I recast them, but what I do is I do say, oh, wouldn't so-and-so also could have played that part as well?
Yeah, I do that too. I do that a lot. Can you watch a movie without analyzing?
No. I mean, with porno movies, I can analyze them.
Oh my word, I'm so sorry, I'm coughing.
It's okay.
Will you come in? Okay, I have 2 cats, and one of them sitting at the door and looking at me.
Mm-hmm.
Come in and get on. Come on, dog. Oh, don't look at me. Oh, he's terrible. He's terrible. He's got way too much personality. He winked at me.
Wow, he must be horny.
Damn cat winked at me. Oh, I don't think he can be. We chopped his balls off right away.
Yeah, but I'm sure he still gets I'm sure he gets a feeling in the pit of his stomach.
Yeah, he does. He takes it out on our other cat. And he just lays there. He just lays there.
Mm-hmm.
He does. He just lays there. He's a Maine Coon, so they're very floppy.
I miss having pets. When I was first homeless, I was I went home with this girl one night who ended up becoming a really good friend of mine. She had 2 of the cutest little puppies in the world, and I used to go visit them, after my accident and everything. And then after I moved, she moved, and I didn't even know about it until this past summer. She took them back to Philly, where she's from, and I was like, oh God, I can't visit them in the Bay Area and play with them anymore. I love them so much.
hard to have a pet. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Especially when if you're not home all the time.
Yeah, it's like having kids.
It is. It really is. Except they never. Well, I don't know if you all never invited friends over and had a party without my knowledge. You could have.
Well, they don't. They also don't.
All over our neighborhood.
They also don't ask for money.
That's true. That is true. Except both of ours are on special diets.
Mm-hmm.
It's one's for hairballs and the other one is for a urinary thing. He gets crystals in his urethra and he cannot pee.
Ugh.
And it backs up in his system and it makes him really sick. So he's been hospitalized twice for a couple weeks at a time because, catch this, one of us dropped an aspirin on the floor. And it was like one of those low-dose aspirin.
Yeah.
And because we old people drink them. And we dropped one on the floor and didn't find it or forgot about it. And he ate it. And he was flat on his back. And he's huge. He's a Great Persian cat. He's not Great Persian. He's a gray Blue Russian. Sorry. He's a Blue Russian.
Mm-hmm.
And he's huge. He's huge. He weighed a little over 20 pounds.
Wow.
And he laid flat on his belly and was stomping, flapping all four legs at the same time. It was like freaking it. It was like the thing coming at you. So we rushed him to the hospital, and this thing was shutting down his body functions, the aspirin. So they did some surgery and cleaned him all up and got him better. That took a couple weeks. And then he had a reoccurrence of this urinary issue that was caused by the aspirin. So we have to feed him special food.
Oh.
And I just, you just feel so bad. You feel so bad. And we don't know which one of us dropped it because we all, if you drop medication, you pick it up. We're not just throwing it in the floor.
Yeah.
It's just so hard, because you just love them so much and you get so attached. And they're like little people in fursuits.
Yeah, that shit worries me. Dropping medication and, a dog picking it up. I mean, that's just scary.
It's very scary. And he eats like a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
I walk downstairs 6 o'clock the other morning and there's like cat puke in this moppy path into the kitchen, filled with pine needles from the tree. And I'm like, why on earth would a cat eat a tree? Never happened before. So I find out that if you peel oranges or lemons or limes and you put the peels under the tree, they hate citrus. And they won't go near it. So the tree's surrounded by orange peels. It's just one of those things where they're so great. They add so much to your life and they're so scary.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I don't want to cry right now.
Don't. I've always had animals. And you know what's the bizarre thing in my family with my husband and daughter?
Uh-huh.
And my father. And my in-laws, too. I'm the one that has to take care of them when they go.
Your in-laws are wanted?
No, they couldn't do it.
Oh.
They would cry and get upset, and my husband gets upset and can't deal with it, and my daughter can't deal with it, and we've got this sick animal who's dying. Guess who gets to take care of it? It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always been my job. My job is always to clean up the worst stuff. My whole life in my family. It was like, if it's something horrible that has to be dealt with, Stephanie will do it. She'll do it. She's good at this stuff. I'm like, no, I'm not. It's just that nobody else will do it. And they can't just leave something like that, so you take care of it. And I hate that. I resent that. I have full resentment about the fact that I'm the one who has to go lie in the cage with the giant dog while they put it to sleep and everybody else waits at the car. I think that's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not fair.
No.
But at the same time, I understand understand how upset they are. My husband and my daughter both have animal voodoo. I swear to God, squirrels will follow my daughter. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Any animal, she's around, comes right to her.
Squirrels scare me.
Yeah?
Yeah. 'Cause they're vicious little guys.
Yeah, they are. But I think, I don't know, I came face to face with a beautiful wolf when we were, where were we? I think we were at Mammoth. Over Christmas Day with some friends in their fabulous Aren't We Ever So Rich condo. And we were taking snowmobile rides. And everybody got ahead of me, and I stopped to look at something. And this wolf walked right up to me. And I just looked at it, and it looked at me, and I just waited. It sat down, sniffed around, then got up and left. I don't know if I peed my pants, but there were icicles in there when I got home. So, and that was the freakiest thing, too, because I thought, what is happening? What? I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Wolf's going to eat me. I'm going to die now. And it just got up and left. I was like, okay. Thank you for saving my life. I'll put $1 in the collection plate on Sunday. I promise.
Bless you, my fuck.
I was scared.
Oh, my God. Oh, I got this really funny joke to tell you.
Oh, tell me.
All right. All right. Get ready to be offended.
Okay, I'm all set.
Cinderella is about to go to the ball, and she's on her period. And the fairy godmother gives her these magic tampons and says, "You have to be home by midnight, or else they will turn into a pumpkin." And Cinderella's like, "Okay, fairy godmother, I will." 12:30 rolls around. Fairy godmother's pacing around the house, pissed off because Cinderella hasn't shown up. Then she does show up at 4 a.m., and Cinderella is stumbling drunk. And fairy godmother's like, "Where were you? You were supposed to be home at midnight." And Cinderella is like, "I'm sorry, fairy godmother. I met this great guy, and we danced all night. His name was Peter Peter."
I did not do that, Thomas. Is that offensive? I don't know when I'm supposed to be offended.
Oh,
that wasn't offensive. That was funny.
I'm sorry. Don't hashtag me too me.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Oh, thank you.
Mother used to tell jokes like that. We're an old lady, school teacher, revered in this community. Church God used to tell jokes like that.
Really?
Yeah, and then you'd sit there with your dog on the floor going, okay, where have you been?
Oh my God. I had a former teacher of mine on the podcast like a month ago, and she said, "Fuck, shit, pussy, ass." I couldn't believe it.
Yay.
I mean, she's only 13. She's only 13 years older than me. You know, she was pretty young when I had her and shit, but, you know, still, just the fact that she was saying all that, I just couldn't believe it. It was awesome.
You know what? I'm so happy to see this going on. I'm watching, I don't know what news thing it was, but one of the political commentators said, well, basically, it's all just bullshit. And you go, yes. It's just, yeah. There are times and places where it's just really important to swear, and I think that we need to embrace that.
Mm-hmm.
So good. I'm good. I'm glad. I'm good with that.
Yeah. Oh, do you have any good jokes?
Oh my God. No, I don't, actually. Nobody's told me a joke in the longest time, and I don't know jokes. I don't do jokes. I tell long, drawn-out, horrifying stories. I think people laugh at the end just because they're glad I'm done.
Okay, I'll hear a long, horrifying story.
No. Let me think.
I got funny sex stories that have happened to me.
Oh, my God. Oh, I should tell you. Oh, no. My husband just walked through the room, and I was just about to say, oh, I should tell you about the time I slept with an Elvis impersonator who yelled. But then I thought I better not say that one.
Oh, you can tell me that one on the next one we do.
Okay. Elvis impersonator who yodeled. Makes you wonder what I find attractive, doesn't it? Oh my God.
I've got some really funny sex stories that have happened to me over the years.
Yes.
Like the most recent one, right? I wake up and this girl is giving me a blowjob, and after she's done, she goes to the bathroom, and I decide I'm going to text her, and she opens it up, and the text message just says #MeToo, and she almost fell off the toilet laughing.
Oh, that's wonderful. I like that. I like that.
Oh my God.
Oh, man.
Oh my God, that job I had as a security guard when I was doing it at this college. Oh my God, I got laid so much there, and like there was like everybody who was there, teachers, students, administrators, they all lived on campus, you know. So it was pretty fucking easy to get laid in that place.
Wow. Oh, did you have a uniform?
I had a uniform. I had a badge. Um, I wore a hat. I had everything.
See, it's authority and the uniform. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Being in charge.
Yeah. I was really happy that I got to do that job because I got to prove to myself that I could do it after resisting it for so long. Because I started out as just a bouncer in a bar, and people always told me you should get your guard card and be a real security guard. And I was like, I don't think I want to do that. You know, terrorists might show up in wherever I'm working. You know, but then after being homeless for a little while, I was like, okay, I need to get serious and get a real job, and so that's what I did.
That's a good job.
Yeah, it was good.
What's really funny is that's one of the jobs I told when I was talking to my daughter, and I said, I just don't know. I just don't know if this is going to work out for me. I don't think they're going to want me. And it's going to. I said, I want to be a security guard. You know what she said to me? Well, Mother, they're not going to give you a gun. I don't care where you work. No one's going to give you a gun. Why is that the first thing that popped into her head?
I had no idea. I mean, I'll tell you.
That was kind of weird.
That's why, you know, so many people these days are just not trusting of people because of, you know, that's what happened with 9/11. Just no one trusts anybody anymore.
It's true. Man, we've pretty much been going downhill ever since, in a lot of ways. Well, we are now. It's, you know, I gotta stop it. I have CNN on all the time. Sound off. But it's on all the time. Or MSNBC. Or some of the other ones. I don't know. My husband has this stuff on downstairs all the time. We have 2 TVs on all the time with news.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's good for our mental health.
No. I think that isn't, and I think, you know, just people being glued to their cell phones is not good for the mental health either, especially children.
Yeah. No, that's true. I don't know if people talk on the phone anymore. Do people talk on the phone? My daughter doesn't talk on the phone.
I only do when I have to.
Yeah. When it's business, you know, she's great. She's great on the phone. But with her friends, it's all texting. They never talk on the phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone's just glued to their technology now, and It's just, it's become antisocial.
It has. It really has. It's so bizarre. So many of my friends have left the area, too. They've moved away in the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Quit the business, can't take it anymore, don't want to do it, you know. I think the saddest ones are the couple of women I know that quit the business and moved away because they were leading ladies. And they're not dealing well with this whole aging thing.
Yeah.
So they got a bunch of surgery. And they don't look like themselves anymore. And they couldn't get any work. So I'm kind of like, damn. Don't do that.
Oh, I've interviewed so many men and women who are fucking bitter that their careers are not what they used to be. And some of them, I just think to myself, why the hell are they even letting me interview them if they're just going to be negative the whole time, you know?
Yeah. And the truth is, you have to expect it. You know, everybody has a high point in their career. And then, as you age, you have to know that there's going to be a period of time where you just are simply not going to work. Because you're going to, if you're a woman, because you're a tween. Or if you're a guy, too, if you were like the handsome guy. Some guys don't age out like they wish they would. And rather than embracing what nature is doing to you and utilizing that, you try to fix it, change it, you know, hang on to it. You got to let go. You got to reinvent yourself every time you need to and just look at it as a positive thing. If I hadn't just come back in this and said to my managers, you know what? They said to me, they asked me, they said, what's your goal? I said, I want to be a working actress who makes a nice living. And they kind of looked at each other and went, well, you can do more than that. And I said, well, then great, let's do more than that. But you asked me what my goal is. My goal is to be working. And I don't need to be the star. I don't need to be rich and famous. I don't need adulation. And if anyone tries to stroke me, I will slap you. I hate that. I hate that. That's horrible. Oh, we're all just a big family. We love you so much, Stephanie. Yes, oh, she's our girl. And then you like go, you let this contract issue slip through and you cost me about $100,000. So you're fired. Let me know. Because it's business. You know, it is all business. But, yeah, talking to them, they were like all on it. And said, absolutely, we're glad to hear it because that's what we think. And they are intentionally rebuilding a career for me that has nothing to do with what I've done before. What I've done before is great because I have a great resume. But, and some of it's still funny stuff, but it's funny because I'm not doing anything. It's funny because that's the way it's written. And I can deliver that very serious stuff and make it really funny if that's the way it's written. And that's what they want. But it's just really important to realize it's not going to last forever. You know, the height of your fame is not going to be the height of your life. And if it is, bad for you. And, you know, there's ebbs and flows in everybody's career who's in this business. And you just, if you quit, then you quit. If you give up, then you give up. Me, I'd rather stick with it and, you know, be that as it was described in the last thing I did, which is airing on the 8th of January in CISLA. The breakdown for that character was an old biker chick. Kind of scraggly. Kind of mean.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm reading this going, scraggly? Old? I can do that. You know, what's wrong with that? I had the best time. I got to do NCISLA. I've done NCIS. Now if I do New Orleans, I've got the trifecta.
Yeah.
Do all 3 of those shows. See, that's what I'm looking at. And I've had other actresses who said to me, you know, oh, I saw the thing you did on Rookie. And I can't believe you let them make you look like that. I'm like, that's what I look like, okay? I didn't have any makeup on.
Oh, my God. They're so insulting.
I'm so sorry to read the snort, but it just struck me as so funny. Because they powdered me and put some lip gloss on and a little mascara. But this character owns a convenience store in the middle of an area where there's all homeless people and drunks. And she's holding a shotgun. She's being robbed. and she's being robbed so many times that she has a shotgun, and she says, I'm going to shoot you. I don't care. I will shoot you. And it's, what's wrong with it? It's a great character. It was a great character. Not pretty. No. Who cares? It's a great character.
Yeah.
I'm not, I'm not going to be Nurse Sandy forever. And people, I swear to God, you guys are just doing this to get attention. The cat, in and out, in and out. They don't do this. You get jealous, aren't you? You silly juice. Get away from me.
Yeah.
You hear it?
Yeah, I hear.
Meh. That's the old one. That's the main coon. His name is Kovac 427.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter named him
Oh.
Kovac 427. I don't even care why. It's a fun name.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So anyway, I don't know. The whole, I don't know. I look in the mirror some days and I put tape on my face. You ever do that? Just for fun.
No.
I do. I tape my face up.
Pee Wee Herman used to do that.
Yes. Yes. Well, see, what would I look like if I had my eyes done? What would I look like if I had my chin done? And I just tape it all up. And then I go, okay, that was fun. I plan on, seriously, I used to think, I want to be the next Lucille Ball. Now I'm kind of going for the next, mock kettle. That's my thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, character actors have such longevity that the leads don't. And I love it. I love character actors. I love interviewing them. Some of them can be pretty fucking boring though, because they couldn't even make eye contact with the stars on the set.
No. Are you kidding me?
Some of them.
Every time I get to work with somebody that's like amazing, I'm sticking right there. I won't say a lot, but I will look them straight in the eye, and I will watch what they do very carefully. And eventually, every single one of them is going to over and talk to me. And I learned something.
What do you learn?
Well, when I did Bones, I had heard that Boreas was just horrible. He was a horrible man. He was unpleasant, blah, blah, blah. Better stay out of his way. And I get there, and he finds me, and he welcomes me, and he says he's excited to work with me, and he is aware of me and likes what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even have any lines with him. He was just in the scene. And it was a very short scene, and it was so fun. And then when I left, he hugged me goodbye, and he was nice. And as we're shooting it, he said, I've been doing this so long, so just stay on your spot in your character, because they could open that door and say go at any second. They're not,
Yeah.
They're not going to, do set up and everybody ready. He does all that stuff. No, they just go. And that made a huge difference to my performance that day.
Nice.
That's not normally how it's done, So I was ready 100% of the time. And then I was given accolades for being ready 100% of the time. So he helped me look better on that show. And I don't know where all this negative stuff is coming from. Not my experience.
Mm-hmm.
Really nice, really gracious. Wanted me to be comfortable and know how they worked. And that's important. Because every set works differently. You don't know. And when you're jumping on a moving train like that for a couple of days or a week, you're the odd man out. You have to be able to perceive how they work and what they want. And he just told me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the rare and lovely thing.
Yeah, I mean, I want to be a production assistant on a set and learn certain things about filmmaking, because I took a filmmaking class when I was 19. All that fucking shit was alien to me. I don't know about the fucking mise en scène and all that. And I spent all my time making jokes rather than studying, so they asked me to leave. Yeah. I was masking my depression because my grandmother had died several months before, So it's like I couldn't concentrate, and just everything they said was just not, it wasn't registering.
Yeah, I get you. And that's hard. I mean, it's hard when you lose somebody to just go ahead. And this thing with my mother, 2 years and 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for this estate to close so I can get on with my life. And I haven't even had the opportunity to really grieve because every time things start to even out and life starts to get a little normal, she does something else to create havoc or to delay or to cause me to have to put everything aside and attend to these legal papers again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's highly disruptive. It's hard to concentrate. It's hard to focus. And then, it's my mother's birthday. And it's Thanksgiving. And then it's my dad's birthday. And it's Christmas. And these people aren't here anymore.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's really hard. And I don't understand people who can lose people and just, go back to work right away.
Mm-hmm.
That day. I've worked with people who've lost family. Been notified on set. Took 5 minutes and then went back to work. I'm like, what? How can you do that? How can you just, I can't, I'm sorry, maybe I'm not that good of an actress to put that all aside.
Yeah. I was reading a story about somebody in the news, somebody took a day off of work because of grievance, and then they got fired or something. Yeah, fucking idiot.
That's ridiculous. It means that I've never worked on a set where your needs that way haven't been important to the bosses, hasn't been important to the producers. Everybody I've ever worked for has always been compassionate.
You've been very lucky.
So I don't know. I don't know why people do what they do. Ooh, I have a good story to tell you.
Okay.
When I said compassionate, it made me think of this one set where his director, who was just the most wonderful man, and his wife was pregnant, and my husband, who's an assistant director, came to the set because he knew this guy. They had worked together, and the director said, "Oh, bring him to work. I'd love to see him." And he wasn't that then. And the production assistant walked over to me and she said, "I saw you talking to that really tall, good-looking guy over there." I said, "Yeah." She said, "Do you know his name?" I said, "Yeah, his name is Ryan." And she's like, "For real?" I said, "Yes, his real name is Ryan. I've known him for a long time. He's a great guy." She goes, "He's so cute. Is he dating anyone?" I said, "No, he's not dating." And she said, "Oh, I want to go talk to him." I said, "Go talk to him." So she did. She comes back 5 minutes later. Across the arm. She's like, "That's your husband." I said, "I know." She said, "But you said he wasn't dating." I said, "We quit dating after we got married." And she ended up being one of my best friends during the run of that show. See, that's the stuff I do. My pranks are like horrifying. That's why I can't do them, because they're always horrifying. I'm not good at that. I'm kind of mean. Don't you think that was kind of mean?
In your stand-up, yes.
Yeah. I am kind of mean. I do. Oh, my God.
But that was part of your charm, though. I mean, I swear to God, growing up in Agri, where I grew up, and having to kneel on the hallway in the high school to make sure my skirt was long enough, and then having to have both my parents sign a permission slip to allow me to wear pants to school. Because this was a public school. It wasn't a religious school. It was just a public school. It was a little teeny tiny town. And there were mothers. Oh, you're going to love this. If a girl was late coming home from a date, their mothers would take them to the doctor the next day to make sure they were still virgins. Oh my God! How could they tell?
That was my question, and I remember asking my mother, "How can they tell?" And she goes, And if these girls have ever jumped up and down, there's a good chance they're not there. And I went, well, why are they doing it? He goes, it's a small town. There's not a lot to do. Take your daughter's hymen. That's what we do today. I don't know. Send me to the doctor and get away. That's where I grew up. No, that's where I grew up.
Now that I think of it, the night that I lost my virginity, my dick was a lot more purple than it had originally been. It was like a vein.
Oh, Jesus. Remember the first time I ever saw a penis?
Mm-hmm.
I think I screamed. I really do. I think I screamed.
Yeah, you thought it was a snake.
I was just shocked. I was mortified. I was like, ah.
Snake!
Put it away. I remember yelling, put it away.
Oh, my God. My mom had this friend. This is funny. They went to go see the Grateful Dead a couple years before Jerry Garcia died. And they were smoking pot. They were like laying on the grass smoking pot. And she got the munchies. And I think she also got a hold of some acid, too. And she thought she saw a hot dog walking, but in hindsight, she thinks that maybe a guy was walking with his pants down. Yeah.
Oh my God.
She was laughing so hard when she was telling that story, and then we did too.
Man, I'm telling you, this is a little bit of your Me Too moment. Do you know how many comics have shown me their dicks?
Oh, probably thousands.
Probably. And it's amazing because I have often said if I had $1 for every dick a guy showed me, we could all retire. No. In the 80s and 90s, for some unknown reason, guys would just show me their dicks. And I'm like, okay. Nice one.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you going to do with that? He ain't coming over here. I actually slapped a couple of them.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a photo lineup with a bunch of other comics or something.
Yeah.
I was doing. I forget what thing it was. And one of the guys behind me took his dick out and put it in my hand because they had us put our hands behind our backs.
Oh.
And he put his dick in my hand. So I squeezed. And I wouldn't let go. And he's like crazy. I was like, what's the matter with you? He's like, I went, yeah, what's the matter with you? See, that's how I handle that stuff. Just slap it. Just squeeze it. Kick it.
Oh, now I know to keep it in my pants around you.
Oh, my God. I just don't understand that. I was like, it didn't happen to a lot of other people. See, if Dale even once said, everybody wants Stephanie's pussy. Nobody wants Steve's pussy. And all the other comics in the room were like, well, that's because you have two. And I was like, how do we get into this conversation? We just came in here for a soda. You know, it's killing me.
The only people who have seen my dick are the ones who wanted to see it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes. I'm very generous. I'm a sexual Santa Claus.
I just know, there's so many different times. That's what gets me. You know? I think that's what I learned during that 20 years of dick exposure. So many different times.
Yeah.
They're like snowflakes, really, when you think about it. Everyone's different. Same thing, but they're all unique.
Yeah. I mean, you must have seen big and small ones.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Who did not?
Yeah. Just before I moved, I had a guy friend come over to my place, and we watched porn together, and we had our dicks out and everything, and I could not fucking get over how huge his was compared to mine. I was fucking jealous. Yeah, I was like, you.
Not the size of the ship, the size of the seat.
That's not the point. I was just like, you fucking asshole. Yeah, I mean,
Oh man,
we known each other 20 years, so it wasn't awkward or anything.
no. See, that's friendship.
Yeah,
Just friendship.
that's true friendship.
It is.
You know,
Good thing.
even though
I'm not at all offended. Am I supposed to be offended? See, I don't know what's supposed to offend me anymore. I just know what offends me.
oh shit, I have no filter for being offended. I'm like a sociopath who happens to be an empath.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
Oh, the things you could do and not do, and
yeah,
do twice.
yeah,
Damn. Oh my God. But see, that's one of the things I love is the psychological um, diagnosis everybody's giving everybody these days. I love that.
mm-hmm,
I do. I really do. It's like you go on Facebook and everybody's a narcissist or a sociopath or a sociopath or a psychopath or something. Everybody's a something.
yeah. Everybody's something except them.
Yeah, that's the truth. I wish it would snow. Why doesn't it ever snow? Because we're in California. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like it to snow. And then I would like to lay in the snow naked. I really would. I miss that.
You could if you go to a nudist colony.
Yeah, but then I have to look at other naked people and that might gross me out.
Go on a day where there's no one there.
Let's see, I went topless when I was in Tahiti on vacation years and years ago.
Yeah.
Because there was a nude beach. And it was funny because all the women had their pants on. Their bathing suit bottoms on.
Yeah.
And I met this nice Australian lady because she could tell I was like kind of nervous about taking my top off. And she came over and sat down next to me and she said, "It's all right, darling, just take your top off. Everybody's seen boobs around here." And she said, "But don't take your pants off." And I'm like, good, I won't. And she goes, "Sand crabs," and goes off. And I was like, oh my God. I don't know if she was telling the truth or not.
Yeah.
And then I found out somebody took pictures.
Mm-hmm.
There are pictures of me topless.
Oh.
Here somewhere. With bleached blonde, absolutely red blonde hair.
Oh boy.
I've never seen them, but I've heard.
Yeah.
I have heard. See, group vacations, not always a good idea.
That's true.
And I have gone to this beach by myself, usually followed by our group.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious. And then one of them got like an amoeba or some infection from eating something he shouldn't have eaten.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it was. Ended up in the hospital. I was like, you're the one who took the picture. I can smell karma.
Yeah.
Well, you ever go on group vacations? It's amazing. It's just horrifying.
Oh, I did 5 years ago. It was a camping trip. There was lots of drama, lots of booze being consumed. I was like, oh fuck! I wish I hadn't even gone, but I'm glad I did because I got to swim with fishes, something you would have never got me to do when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, tropical fishes.
Oh, okay. See, I grew up swimming in lakes and creeks and rivers and stuff. But the ocean, I'm scared to death of deep water, dark water. I am terrified of what could be in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am too.
I know here there's no fish. I mean, we have no fish. We killed them all with poop.
That's yeah. That's so true. Yeah, but I think all the alcohol I was consuming that weekend made me brave enough to do it. But I would never swim with fishes again.
Oh man, it's the weirdest thing, isn't it?
It's
Jesus.
It's claustrophobic. It's creepy. It's weird.
They touch you. They nibble at you. It's like, oh, God.
Yeah.
Like being at a family reunion. Everybody just get the fuck away from me.
Yes.
I am not one of you. Leave me. Leave me.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Hey, this is interesting. On Christmas Eve night,
Uh-huh.
my daughter has the flu.
Mm-hmm.
And she's very disappointed because she gets a whole month off from Cal Arts.
Uh-huh.
And all her friends are starting to come back from their prospective colleges. And so she was disappointed because everybody's coming home. And she's a great person. And I'm like, well, you are not getting out of bed. That's how you have 24 hours without a fever. Because that's what they told us in grade school, so I figured it still must count. And she's just so funny. She's, oh God, what was I going to say? See, the cat distracted me. Fucking animals love me so much, I don't know what to do.
It's okay, Steph. I actually just realized I got 3 minutes left of recording.
Funny. I haven't even been funny.
Yes, you have. You've been very funny, Steph. You've been very funny.
I adore you. Let me tell you, I adore you. And I'll pick up you. I got your back. Anybody says anything nasty, I can tell them it ain't true.
Oh, thank you, hon. Thank you. And yeah, I mean, we'll do this again. But yeah, I mean, we've been talking for a while now.
Yeah. It's so easy to talk to you. It is. And I just like go all over the place and you don't even mind. You steer me back. You're amazing. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure, Steph. Thank you so much. And yeah, I'll talk to you again soon. I'll upload this in a few. And
Okay.
yeah, we'll talk again. And you have yourself a happy new year.
I will. You too. And more and better every day for you, my friend.
Oh, thank you so much. Love you.
All right, hon. Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, there you have it. Stephanie Hodge. Ain't she a sweetheart? Thank you so much, Stephanie. You're just the kindest lady behind that edgy comedy persona I grew up watching, but I love you so much. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is